Pryor was by far one of the greatest comedians to ever grace the stage. Oh, he is amazing.
I like Gradius.
Yeah, greatest. Yeah. He's legendary. Greatest and greatest.
All right, so let's bring in his daughter, Rain, who's also found her way to the big screen and has Dad's sense of humor. Let's listen to this for just a sec first.
Look, Richard, it's Rain. Do you want to hold her? No, baby. I may drop her. It's just my story of this specific era and growing up being a black Jewish girl that didn't fit in.
All right, that's a clip from That Daughter's Crazy, a film which takes an up-close look at Rain Pryor's sometimes complex life as the daughter, of course, of Richard Pryor, comedic royalty, and then being raised by a Jewish grandmother?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Hi, Rain.
And a Jewish mom. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
So nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So
Thanks for having
this
me.
is your story.
This is my story.
What a story to tell.
Right? Black Jewish girl.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it? I don't know.
So do you have an identity complex? What's going on here?
I guess at one time I must have. I mean, that's kind of what the story's about, is growing up in this era where there weren't people like me around.
Right.
And I think now, what's so funny about the film coming out now, I think in the racially charged climate that we're in, it has such a poignant statement about being and identifying as us as human, that's who I am, and how I fought in Hollywood to be who I am. You know, now I'm accepted. I mean, the big hair is, you know, ever since Macy Gray came out, like big hair is like the in thing. You see it everywhere. You know.
Can we dig into that for just a minute?
Let's dig in.
You grew up in Beverly Hills,
Yes.
the daughter of a very, very famous movie star and comedian, Richard
Yes.
Pryor, of course. But in
And
Los
didn't get the money. Just want to add that too.
did he pass away with money? Your dad?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
I
Check
mean,
my pockets.
He had a huge career, but we all know, of course, have been well
Yes.
documented about his personal troubles. But
Right.
in Los Angeles, where you and I both grew up, the Jews and the African Americans, the blacks, they didn't hang out much.
No, not at all. And they still don't. And so the idea of growing up this kid in this era and to kind of bridge those two identities, which is why my solo show is called Fried Chicken and Latkes.
Right.
I just did the world premiere in Harlem, and to watch the two cultures kind of come together, even in a theater, has such a great impact on who we are in a society.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You're a unifier. You bring them
am.
together in one arena.
I think I'm always going to inherit the social activism of my parents. My mom, you know, thought she was a black militant, but she was blonde hair and blue eyed. You know, my dad made social commentary on how he grew up.
Yeah.
You know, a black man in Peoria, Illinois, who became, you know, famous.
And you were talking about Sharon. You said that's what you're most excited about. You get to talk about your mom, your grandmother.
Yes.
This is stuff that
And they're
people
in
haven't
it.
heard about.
No, they haven't. And to see how those cultures, and you know, when you get to see a woman who raised a child who looked like me in that era talk about her activism, talk about how she fought and she struggled as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman to teach me my identity, I think that's very poignant, and I think people don't know that side of a story yet.
Like the presidents who's mixed race.
Yes.
How do you identify, or do you kind of identify over a broad spectrum?
I'm going to take the Raven-Symoné approach and say I'm human.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I identify as a black woman who practices Ifa. I don't identify necessarily as a Jewish woman, but I am. Culturally, I'm a black Jewish Ifa woman, and so that's how I identify in the world, and I'm a mother, so.
Because a lot of times we talk about, a lot of times people feel like they're forced to go into a certain category,
Absolutely.
click a certain box, and it's not
Right.
always that simple.
Right, and you know, I don't even click the boxes anymore. I think I recently got divorced, and I wrote to the judge, because they asked your race, and I said, I am black-ish. And she laughed, which I thought was great. She was like, you have a sense of humor. And I was like, yeah, because there's no box for what I am.
I heard
Yeah.
your show Blackish is hilarious. by the way.
Exactly.
Now, we also have to talk about the fact there's a major movie in
Yes.
production now. Lee Daniels directing about Richard Pryor.
Oh my
Mike
God,
Epps.
is there? Who's that?
Well, you don't know, but you know
Who's
Mike
Mike
Epps.
Epps?
He's playing your father. Would you have picked him to play your father?
I wouldn't have picked that film, period. So.
Okay,
Why not?
tell me more about that. Yeah.
You know, because I think the kids, for me, the children of Richard Pryor know our father the best, especially the eldest ones. We grew up with him. We know his ups and downs. We know his life. I also think there have been so many biopics about my father. What else story could you tell that would have an impact or make a difference than something we've already scene.
So you're not involved with this at all?
I'm not involved. None of the kids are, and I'm okay with that.
Did
I'm
they
like,
try to involve you guys?
no.
Wow.
And it's okay. You know, look, every family has drama. The Pryors are not exclusive of that drama.
Yeah.
We have our own.
Your dad broke barriers,
Absolutely.
and you are
And
too.
he broke women, which is the problem with the film, let me tell you.
Yeah. But-
Well, we can see your movie though
Yes,
tonight.
tonight.
Tell us where.
At the Painted Bride. That daughter's crazy. At the Painted Bride at 7 p.m. Come and enjoy.
We're excited. We're glad that you're able to tell your story.
Thank you.
Thank
Me
you
too.
so much. So nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Rain.
Yay.
Thanks for
Thank
taking
you.
the time.
Thank you.
Nice to
Appreciate
meet you.
it.
Enjoy Philly.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Cheesesteak.
8:20. Well, this really stole everyone's attention this week. We're going to show you